was 20 minutes. What's going on, YouTube? This is Wawa Echo. I'm Parker.
And I'm Zach.
And this is the aftermath of Extreme Rules 2017. We just got done watching Extreme Rules, and altogether, I would say, like, I wasn't super looking forward to the pay-per-view, like, going into it. And there were disappointing parts. Like, there were parts that I figured I would be disappointed by, and I was. But overall, like, I feel like that the good, like, what was good about the pay-per-view was really, really good to kind of make up for the kind of bad stuff of the lower parts of the pay-per-view. What about you, Zach? What did you think overall?
I agree. It wasn't too disappointing. In fact, it really wasn't disappointing at all because I had low standards as it is. But
yeah,
you know, there were a couple of really good matches.
There were,
and like you said, it kind of outweighed the bad ones.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. But let's
get into
let's
it.
jump in. The first match, of course, was in the pre-show. We had Kalisto defeat Apollo Crews with Titus O'Neil at ringside for Apollo, and it was okay. There were some good spots. There were some weird spots.
There was the ending spot that was pretty
nice.
nice.
The ending spot was cool. I was disappointed that Apollo is still in that kind of in between, where he's like, seems to be with Titus, but he's like still kind of like good. He's not like fully heel, and I just would like for them to just make a decision on it, like make him one way or the other, because he needs to really establish a character, and that's I think the biggest thing when it comes to this match. Like there, not a whole lot of eventful stuff happened, but it was just kind of average. There were some cool moments. Kalisto, I remember one where he flipped over the top rope, landed on the second rope on the other side, and then jumped off of that and spun and like landed on Apollo. That was pretty cool. And the ending, doing the Selena de Sol, kind of like running up Titus O'Neil and like kicking him in the face as he landed it. I thought it was a pretty good way to end. But like I said, I wish like the establishment would have been there for where Apollo really is, and that's kind of my thing. Did you have anything to add about that one, Zach?
Not really. You kind of said it all in a bunch. How there were a few spots that were cool. Apollo Crews is fantastically talented. Kalisto can be when he's not botching. I mean, because the spots that they had, a lot of the spots they had takes spot on synchronization from both.
Definitely.
And so they put on a pretty decent match. It wasn't the worst on the card, obviously, but
no, it was not the worst on the card.
And I can't say we had expectations for it because we didn't even know. I didn't even know until we were coming into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was very, very recent. It was very last minute, the decision for the match. I would have preferred Goldust versus R-Truth myself, but maybe they're having that for Great Balls of Fire. That sounds like country. I don't know. And they've actually admitted it on TV. They actually said it towards the end of the pay-per-view. They actually said the name. They've been avoiding it for a while. But the first match of the main card was the Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz and Dean Ambrose. And Zach, I want you to talk about this one because I just can't. The whole thing, it made me so mad. Not the whole thing. It was good to a point.
Yeah.
Until like towards the end.
They had the spots. They teased the spots that everyone was expecting. So they teased Maurice slapping The Miz. Well, I mean they did it, but they teased him winning that way. They teased him trying to find some coward way out, and it almost seemed like Dean Ambrose was gonna win because there's just no way. Like Miz is trying to find all these different ways, but then he defeats him with Skull Crusher finale, and it wasn't exactly clean, however.
No,
but
absolutely not. It was not clean at all.
But I mean, the match was well organized. wise, as far as you didn't have, there weren't hardly any botchy spots. There weren't too many times where you thought Dean Ambrose was going to get disqualified. Because they could have overdone it. They could have made it like he was going to get disqualified like every minute, and it could have just been terrible. They also didn't make it a 2-second match where the bell rang and Maurice just slapped Miz. And I don't know. It was a little weird having Miz win the way he did. And so I don't know what this means for their feud, because it was okay. WWE booking standpoint, their feud isn't over because Dean only just lost the belt.
Right.
But please let it be over. Let Dean go on to something else.
I don't know. It's like, because I'm not sure who they would have Miz go up against next for the belt.
Pick someone.
I mean, they may go with somebody like Seth or Finn, maybe. They've kind of teased those both in the past. So maybe something like that. I'm not sure. I am kind of like Zach. I do want this to kind of be the end of the feud, though. I hate Dean lost because I really love Dean. I don't know. I'm not sure what they do with Dean now without the belt.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna go on the feud with Elias Sampson, which there was that weird.
Yeah, why was he there?
Yeah, he right after that match, he came and sang a little song, and got some heel heat, but that was it. He sang the song and then it was over. It didn't lead to a match or somebody coming out and be like, hey, Big Show. I could have seen hey, I don't like that music.
Yeah.
It's not good music. And saying about it's a big bad show, sing that, and then it leads to a match. Nothing happened. It was weird. It's just out of place, it seemed.
Yeah.
But that was.
I don't really care for Miz having the belt anyway.
I mean,
I don't care for either one of them having the belt.
I mean, I like Miz. I really liked Miz as the Intercontinental Champion before he lost to Dean. It was really great. His rival with Dolph Ziggler was really good on SmackDown. And so if they can find someone else that can kind of do that same kind of rivalry, similar chemistry that he had with Dolph, I could see it being good. But I don't know. It was definitely one of the more frustrating matches for me. I just didn't like it personally. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. I just don't like that kind of ending. It was a stupid stipulation.
True. Yeah, the stupidest.
Especially for Extreme Rules. But anyways, so the next match was the mixed tag match between Rich Swann and Sasha Banks, who were victorious over Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. There wasn't really much to this match. It wasn't very long. It was 6.5 minutes or something like that. It was nothing really to it that was super exciting. Noam Dar and Alicia Fox, they're so weird together. I don't know, something about it, the way they look together, and it's not a black and white kind of thing. It's not like that, so I don't think it's like that. It's just, I don't know, they just seem so out of place together. And the way they would do their tags where they were just running, oh yeah, like that. It was just so weird. It was just odd, and I don't know, it was weird. And then the Faces won, yay! I definitely hope that Sasha is done with Alicia Fox.
Yep.
For sure. She needs to be the next #1 contender after I guess Nia gets her shot. Which I'm sure there will be some funky way that she loses that. And when it comes to the cruiserweight men, I don't really care.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see Rich Swann maybe get back into the title picture, possibly. But other than that, I don't really know. That was that match. It wasn't super exciting. And then the next match was probably, in my opinion, the worst match of the night. Let me just I would say worst match of the night was Well, it'd be a toss-up because the mixed tag match was pretty darn awful. I'd probably say that was worst match of the night. And I would say, like, second worst match of the night, I would say, is the next match, which was the kendo stick on a pole match for the Raw Women's Championship between the champion Alexa Bliss and Bayley. The only good thing about this match was the fact that Alexa Bliss won.
Yeah.
That's basically all I have to say. There was nothing.
The match was stupid.
The match, when it came to like the wrestling, there was nothing exciting. Nothing. There was no big spot. There was no seemed to be real heat to their rivalry like it should have been. What with like all the stuff that Alexis talked bad about Bayley in that terrible segment from this past week. There seemed to be no heat, and then
they confused the stipulation because
exactly.
It originally was whoever gets the pole down that they can legally use it. The opponent cannot.
Yes.
So they both took it down, quote unquote.
Well,
so the announcers clarified it's a free kendo stick. So technically, from there on, it was the first person to get it. Bayley was the first person to get it. Then exactly. Why was Alexa allowed to use it?
Yeah, exactly. Like Bayley was going for it. Alexa tried to stop her. The thing fell. And I would have called it Bayley's at that point because she had touched it and Alexa didn't.
But they gotta call it even.
Yeah, exactly. But then Bayley clearly got it.
Yeah.
So Bayley should have been the only one to use it. But Bayley didn't even hit Alexa once with it. And then Alexa stole it from her, hit her a bunch of times. Bayley had one offensive move where she hit the Bayley to belly. While Alexa was, I think, mid-strike, she turned, grabbed the belly, and slammed, and that was okay. That was, I guess, the big spot of the match, if you can call it that. That's sad that would be the big spot. And then, then Alexa, I think, hit her a couple more times with the thing, went for her DDT, and won. And that's literally the only good part about that match, was the fact she won. It was literally a 5-minute match. It was 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Of my life wasted.
Yeah, it was not a good match. Alexa Bliss is great. Bayley's pretty good. That was a terrible match. Terrible stipulation. We should realize from that time when there was a lot of stuff on a pole match, there's a reason why they went so long with not having one of those. That stipulation should be buried now because it was awful. Bayley, hopefully, in my opinion, should no longer be #1 contender. I'd like for Bayley to get out of the title scene. Maybe feud with Emma. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm not the hugest fan of Bayley. She's okay. But I would like to see Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks next. That would be my thing. But I don't know. Anything else you'd like to add, Zach, for that one?
No.
Cool. Then the next match was one of the most exciting matches. And one of the ones where I was most torn was the steel cage tag team match for the Raw tag team titles between Cesaro and Sheamus and the Hardys. And Cesaro and Sheamus were able to get the victory over the champions and become the new 2-time Raw tag team champions, I believe. That makes them the first 2-time since it's become the official Raw tag team champions.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I felt like it was the smart thing to do, though I feel like they should have done better with booking Cesaro and Sheamus before the match. After they had turned heel, I feel like they should have at least gotten a victory or two, at least, if not in a tag team match, then at least in singles competition. Let Cesaro beat Jeff and let Sheamus beat Matt once after they turned heel. Because it would have made it, that was kind of the problem, was I figured that they were going to win, because what's the point of turning them heel if they're not going to have them win? But I just wish that it had been a little bit more believable, that they had had a little bit of momentum since becoming heel. They didn't even get a dirty win, which I'd have been fine with. So that was kind of my only complaint with that. It was just I wish that the big booking prior to the match would have been a bit better. But that's a small gripe in my opinion. The match was pretty good. I don't like cage matches for the fact that it's hard to see a lot of stuff precisely, which I guess is good for wrestling because they don't have to like be as stiff with stuff. They can be a little more free to not be so tough with their hits and stuff because people can't see as clearly. So I guess that's an advantage for them, but it takes away from my enjoyment because it's kind of hard to see. But that's just a thing with steel cage. But I don't know anything in your opinion for that one.
I like the match.
Yeah, it was a good match. Not like super great or anything. Nothing like particularly like amazing like I kind of was hoping for with the Hardys. Jeff did a whisper in the wind off the top of the cage, which was cool. But other than that, not a whole lot of like vintage Hardy shenanigans. Well, but okay, it's fine. I'm guessing that the rivalry continues with the Hardys chasing the titles, whether or not they win it back. I'm not sure. It depends on kind of where they want to go with it, because they could go several ways. They could have them win back the titles at some point, because there is a lot to the Hardys as a unit in merchandise sales and stuff like that. They can make a lot of money off the Hardys together, but I feel like they might be thinking about maybe eventually splitting them up to go like their separate ways. I'm sure they'll still work together at times, but I'm not sure. It's kind of up in the air. I'll kind of be happy either way, because I just love both. I love the Hardys together, and I love both the Hardys separate. So it's kind of a win-win. But anything at all to add now? So we're down to the next to last match of the card. I was surprised this one didn't make it to 20 minutes. It was 17 minutes. It felt longer, but it was the submission match for the Cruiserweight Championship between Neville, the champion, and Austin Aries. And I don't know, you may not agree with me. Feel free to put your opinion in there, Zach, but I would call this match of the night, in my opinion. I feel I felt like that I feel like they have great chemistry together. I feel like they've put on great matches each time and made them feel like they obviously similar, but I feel like also unique in a lot of ways. I felt like their match at WrestleMania was one of the best on the card. I felt like that their match at Payback was match of the night. I believe I said it was either match of the night or second best, and then I would call it match of the night on this one too. I don't know what you think of it, Zach, if you would agree or disagree.
Well, I think if you consider all in-ring aspects, this had to be match of the night, because you had great wrestling, you had great storytelling, you had a fantastic ending, and you had the right person winning, because you either had Aries win and drag this out longer, and Neville would still be 2-1 against Aries. Well, he would still have walked out champion twice. So, I mean, whereas if Neville wins, it just continues to build him up as the legit king of the cruiserweights, and which he deserves that, because he's very good at what he does. He's very good at being heel. Yeah. I just think all around. Yeah, he definitely great match of the night.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what Zach said. Like it told a really good story. Neville was really good at portraying the story really well. He's able to get that heat. He's a really unique heel, because he's not cowardly. He may take advantage of situations, back away when need, but he also uses that to make himself look strong. He'll go at the crowd or something like that, which is really good. The in-ring work between the two of them was fantastic. I thought, the different submission holds they put on each other. There were legit times when I thought both were seriously injured, especially that spot where Aries. I seriously thought he ruined his arm.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I was so worried. I was so worried. And Aries did amazing. And then the finale, the red arrow onto Aries' back and turned it into the Rings of Saturn was fantastic. fantastic. I thought really really good. Where it goes from here, I mean, like, I don't know if they'll make Aries number one contender again. Like, it's like they're so good that they can do a lot of matches like that. But like, there's a point where you do say that's all. Like, because you just don't want to burn everyone out. You know what I'm saying? Although I would say that I'm not sure that there's anyone else in the cruiserweight division that's really on Neville's level. That rhymes, you know.
Yeah.
They say it sometimes. But because Austin is just really great. You know, like Jack Gallagher's good, T.J. Perkins is good, Rich Swann's good, Noam Dar's good. Like, those guys are good, but I just don't feel like they're up. Like, I feel like there's those guys, and then there's Aries and Neville, and Neville's just a little bit above Aries in my opinion. So I don't know. They may continue the feud. If they do, I hope that it wouldn't be for maybe one more pay-per-view. But I don't know, because I could see reason why they could have it continue, like Aries and Neville rolled out of the ring, and Aries kept the last chancer in, and Neville did tap on the outside of the ring, which of course wouldn't count for him to lose because they went out of the ring and it has to be in the ring. But you could see that as an excuse or a reason, like, hey, I did make him tap, so I deserve another chance. So they could go with that, and you know, if they make it a ladder match, then I'm cool. You know, but I don't know. It'll be interesting what they do with it. Neville definitely, I think, is the right choice for champion, at least for now, because he really, I just think, elevates the division. But definitely match of the night. A very, very well done job by the two of them. And then we come to the main event, which was, of course, the Extreme Rules Fatal 5-Way for the number one contendership for Brock Lesnar's Universal title. I think it's all that I'm playing. It's gonna go for it. Sorry, we're supposed to do this in one take. My bad. So we had, of course, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, and it was a pretty good match.
It was.
You know, when it comes to like multi-man matches, it's hard to keep track of everything and remember all the spots and stuff. And I feel like that they kind of used up some stuff beforehand, like in the weeks prior, like after they announced the match and having like the different matchups between them all. I would have not done that, especially the triple threat match on Monday night between Balor, Wyatt, and Joe. I feel like that was a mistake. It's crazy that Joe won both the triple threat, and Samoa Joe did end up winning the match and has become the number one contender. I really thought that Zach was going to get it right, and it was going to be Finn once Finn started going with his winning sequence, but Samoa Joe came in for the Coquina Clutch, and Finn did pass out, declaring Joe the winner. Overall, pretty good. Not super extreme. There were a few chair spots, you know. Wyatt and Joe had their fun with the chair for a little while, kind of passing it back and forth, doing sentons on using the chair and stuff like that. Seth Rollins sent Wyatt through the announce table. Roman Reigns speared both Balor and Joe through the barricade, and that was okay. So, you know, a few good extreme spots, but I would have liked a little bit more. But, you know, overall, not a disappointing match. I think all the guys had their moments, and I think all the guys looked good and looked pretty strong. I think it's a mistake having Finn keep losing these multi-man matches, because since he's came back, when they've had like triple threat, like they had a triple threat for the for the Intercontinental title that he was a part of. He got pinned in that. Then the triple threat on Monday night, he got pinned at that, and then this, he got pinned again. I feel like that's a mistake. I feel like you kind of need to share that between people. Like, they've done good with keeping him, like, look strong, because it's been, like, the first time was interference from Bray Wyatt, and the next time it was like no, Finn did not get the pin. He was not pinned Monday night. He was about to pin Bray Wyatt, and then Samoa Joe grabbed him and threw him into the ring post on his back, and he fell out of the ring, and Samoa Joe stole the victory from him. So that was my mistake on that. So that helped him. Like, he didn't get the pin on that, but he looked, he was going to get the victory, except for Samoa Joe snuck up for it. But, and then today, he didn't tap to the thing. He passed out. So it's a good face way of losing to a submission move. So, overall, I would say a good, pretty good match. Definitely not it didn't have like that OMG really moment that, like, the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship when Triple H betrayed Seth and gave it to Kevin Owens. There wasn't something like that, which I would have been like, oh my god. But I don't know, what you got anything with it, Zach, that you feel good with? You're very chatty this video. I know
you
you're
say
tired.
Pretty much everything that I want to say.
Well, then, sorry, my bad.
So, I mean, I enjoyed the match.
Good. Well, that's all we can ask for.
Yes.
But yeah. So, where it goes from here, obviously Samoa Joe will be battling Brock Lesnar in a hellacious match, and what better pay-per-view for a hellacious match than Great Balls of Fire? Obviously you don't want Hell in a Cell or something like that. No, Great Balls of Fire. Definitely cool. Vince, good job with that one. Perfect. Definitely be a yearly one, I'm sure. But where the other 4 men go, I'm not totally sure. I don't know. I've heard rumors that since Braun Strowman has been hurt, that they might do Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns again, which I don't think anyone wants, because we didn't really want it the first time, so we really don't want it again. So don't, please, like, and I'm not sure when it comes to, like, Seth and Finn, like, I feel like one of them might go for the Intercontinental title. Maybe that could be good. But other than that, I don't know. Do you have any predictions you feel like they could go with for the other 4 men?
I honestly don't know what the other 4 men. Because it's, like, I don't know what they're going to do with Seth at all. I don't know what they're going to do with Finn. I don't know what they're going to do with Bray. And Roman will probably
Roman, we know, will eventually become number 1 contender. When it gets close to WrestleMania, what they do with him in the meantime is a little up in the air. But yeah, I guess it's a good thing in a way that we don't know, because it leaves because obviously those guys are all main event talent, and they're definitely gonna they're not gonna pull an Emma and not be seen in a month or 2. So I'm excited for. I definitely think this Monday will be really good with Raw. I think that they'll really start to develop, like, the new feuds, like if there are any new feuds that come along, and then they'll write kind of the new chapter for continuations of feuds. So I'm looking forward to Raw. I think it's going to be good. And overall, I would rate the pay-per-view pretty good. Definitely, I thought it was better than Payback. I thought it was better than Backlash. So, in my opinion, I don't know, do you agree or disagree?
I think it was probably... can't really say that it was better than Backlash. I feel like Backlash was pretty good.
Equal.
Only
equal to
because
Backlash.
We had so many disappointing moments in Backlash. We
definitely can agree it was better than Payback.
Oh, well, yeah, by far.
Definitely agree it's better than Payback. Backlash, well, it had its disappointing moments with, like, Jinder Mahal winning, and I'm trying to remember all that happened in the match. In that pay-per-view.
The welcoming committee won.
The welcoming committee, that was a disappointing thing that happened. The way that AJ versus Kevin Owens ended was a little disappointing, though. You would think it would continue the feud, but no, it's taking a pause because Money in the Bank.
Yep.
No, neither of them probably gonna win. Whatever. But you gotta have names in there. But you had Nakamura in there with Ziggler, and that was a pretty good match. And so I don't know. I think me personally, I would put Extreme Rules a little bit above Payback. Me personally, not too far ahead. I would put it a little bit ahead. Like there were disappointments, like the mixed gender match and the Raw Women's match, but and then I didn't really care for the way the IC title match ended, but I thought it was a good match before that. But other than that, like, 2 matches that I just didn't like at all out of 7, and then 1 match that I understand. Like, I just don't like it because I really like Dean as champion, and I like Miz as champion, but I'm torn. It's a torn way. But then the pre-show match I thought was pretty good. For a pre-show match, I thought it was one of the better ones we've had in a while. And then the main event was really good. The steel cage match really good. Cruiserweight match amazing. So all in all, definitely I would say a very, very good pay-per-view. And I'm looking forward to what Raw has in store. I'm hoping that there will be some surprises and stuff like that. But all we can do is wait for that to continue. So we will definitely. I'm sure we will be so anticipating Great Balls of Fire.
Totally. But
before that, we have Money in the Bank, which I'm excited for. I love Money in the Bank. I love what that case represents, like the unpredictability of when somebody could go for their go for the championship and stuff like that. And so I'm hoping that it'll be really good, and so I'm excited for it. But we will see you then in just a few weeks. I think it's 3 weeks away. I believe it may be 2 weeks, something like that. I'm not sure. You guys know. But any final thoughts, Zach, before we round it out? Nope. Okay, awesome. So with that is the aftermath for Extreme Rules 2017. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of Extreme Rules. Did you love it? Did you not like it so much? What were your favorite parts, your least favorite parts? We want to know, guys. And then please, if you wouldn't mind, just liking this video, and of course subscribe for more content like this, because we will be back here in just a couple weeks with Money in the Bank. But until then, guys, we will see you real soon. We have been What Wacko. Peace.